wanted to play this for you. I don't know if you realized what was being said here. This was one of those purpose pitches without it being a purpose pitch. Now, go back to Bryce Harper's comments a couple of weeks ago, where he talked about the game being tired. Goose Gossage then said, this kid knows nothing. Goose, the former Hall of Famer. We had Mike Trout on, and, Trout says, look, I'm old school. I don't play that way, and I'm not interested in criticizing the game. I love the game. It's the best game there. So we had Clayton Kershaw on, and this was Wednesday. And I asked Kershaw if he had a son, who would he want him to be a fan of or play like?
The way I think about it is if I ever had a son, who would I want him to watch play the game? That's how I think about it. And for me, I'd want him to watch Mike Trout. I want him to watch Paul Goldschmidt. I want him to watch Andrew McCutchen. These guys are just, I know it's cliche, but just the way they play the game. I would want my son to learn from that.
But what bothers you about Bryce Harper?
Nothing necessarily bothers me about him. If I had to pick guys, I would pick guys that lean more towards the way that those three play. I have a lot of respect for the way Bryce plays. He plays hard. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the things he said in that article. I don't think baseball needs flair. I think if you're good enough, you just play the game, and that's how you get respect. You just play the game really, really well. And I think he's talking about making the game a little less boring. Well, I think when those three guys play the game that I just mentioned, that's not very boring to watch. I think that's pretty exciting. So that's kind of where I stand on all that.
Pretty interesting. He's not going to criticize Bryce Harper, but he's certainly going to compliment guys who play this way. I thought it was good. Yeah, Seton.
You don't think the game needs a little flair?
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. But it feels like there's a certain amount of flair you can have. But here's Clayton Kershaw saying, I like the way these guys play. They're exciting to watch. They don't need to add anything to their game. They don't need to be flamboyant in how they do their job. Bryce Harper adds that. I love the fact that Bryce Harper has that. I do. Yes, Eden.
The game is so lacking in flair that the way someone flips a bat, or if they take a little skip before they run down first base, it's a week worth of, whoa. What the hey, guy, respect the game here. What's with the skip on the home run? Hey.
I think there are moments where you can have fun. It's when some knucklehead is, down by 9 and they're legging out a double, and all of a sudden, they're gonna stretch it into a double, or they want the ball after they had the hit. There are guys who celebrate. I'll do something when we're down by a lot or up by a lot. And I have a problem with that. But Jose Bautista's bat flip, okay. The game is changing. If I gave you the NBA back in the 70s, you'd go, this is kind of boring here. And it was. The style, they had to bring in the three-point shot from the ABA. The NBA was boring. They needed something to give it some flair. And they did. I'm not saying change baseball. I do think that there are things that you can have fun with. I love personalities here. But I can't have somebody like Goose Gossage tell me about having flair, or we don't need that in the game, or being professional, and look at Reggie Jackson, his teammate with the Yankees, who did it. I mean, there was nobody more of a showman than Reggie Jackson. And people loved him. Babe Ruth pointed to center field to hit a home run at Wrigley in the World Series. So let's not take a holier-than-thou approach to this. There's flair. Baseball polices itself better than any other sport. That in hockey. They police their sport. If somebody does something stupid, out of line, they'll hear about it.